Thank you so much, Kiran Bhai. That's what I call a Burger King introduction. One Whopper after the other. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the council members. And I'm so happy to stand in front of you all representing ServiceNow. And I feel so proud. My awesome team is here, right at the front table. And we are one of the sponsors. We are the Diamond sponsor this year. And this is the first time we are sponsoring at STC. And I have been at ServiceNow for a very short time now. It's been about just 9 months. But I still say I feel so proud about this company, and I'm so happy to represent the team here. Okay, having said that, because it is servant leadership, I thought I will do a small self-introduction. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done this, trust me. It is just because the topic, I take this opportunity to do a very humble self-introduction. I come from a very humble background, and I come from a small town, which is approximately having about 13,000 population, right? This folk is a fishing folk. So I come from a background, I come from a family, and where my father has to work for almost, continuously he has to work for 12 hours on a daily basis, and comes back most of the days nothing. That's shocking, right? So there are cities and towns in places like Nigeria, Kenya, where people work continuously for 8 to 10 hours, and they earn about $2 to $3 per day, right? And if you take their entire monthly expenses, right, for 30 days, they spend about $40 to $50 running a family of 2 plus kids. Parents with 2 or 3 kids, and I have seen this in my town. So he's a regular hard worker. So I said we are from the fishing folks, and he's a fisherman. So he goes to the sea every day, maybe in the morning at 4 o'clock, if not a little later in the evening at 6 to 7. So if he goes in the evening, he has to stay back in the sea, at the sea, for at least 12 to 13 hours, which means he has to come back the next day, 9 to 10 in the morning. And the ocean is so generous. Sometimes it gives so much that you are so happy, and sometimes it completely abandons you, right? It says that I can't do anything for you today, because that's how nature works. And he comes back empty-handed, and the last, whatever the years I've been on the face of the earth, I have seen this on a daily basis. He comes back empty-handed and says to my mother, I don't have anything today. And at least what he tries to get is at least a fish to run the day as food for a home, right? Not for the money, at least cook that as a food one time. So that's the background that I come from. And I graduated from one of the top colleges, one of the top universities. And when I graduated, I would say I became a reputation of the university. I passed in as a gold medalist, and in the state, out of all the universities, I was a topper. And back in those days, I came to Chennai to do my master's. And this was based on the recommendation given by chancellor, vice chancellors in the university. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got that seat in that college. I'm very happy to say I'm from Loyola College, Chennai. And anybody there? Oh, okay, yeah, thank you. On the recommendation from Vice Chancellor, I joined Loyola College. I did my MS in physics, right? And right from my childhood days, because of this hardship that I've been going through, I wanted to do something. And my mom would ask me, what do you want to become? What do you want to become? And she never told me what you should become. So I didn't know what should I become, right? And when I completed my graduation, she told me, what do you want to become? And I said, it's a fishing folk, and I was the first generation graduate. I'm the first one who completed a graduation in my entire family. And so that's the kind of pride background that I come from, right? And then I was selected in Loyola College. There were like 15,000 students for the entire master degree in all the cadets. And in my MS Physics, 15 1,500, 1,500 people applied. And if you, even today, if you go to Loyola College, they would say only 26 seats are allowed per post-graduation in any cadet, in any stream. So we got through, 26 of us, and I started studying. That's when I wanted to decide what I'm going to do. And I told my mom that I want to become an IAS officer, right? And that would be a proud moment for my town. So I started preparing, I started attending coaching classes. I was very regular throughout my MSc, where I was doing my, and again in Anna University, I became a class topper, passed out as gold medalist, and Loyola College offered me a free seat in LIBA. Anybody knows LIBA? Yeah, there's quite a few people. LIBA, one of the top most renowned business school in India. They are tied up with the XLRI in Calcutta. It's the same management. So they offered me a management for people management and human resource. Today, if you go to LIBA, each semester will cost you about 3,50,000 rupees, each semester. And back in those days, I got this as a free seat. And why would I leave it? I know, of course, I want to become an IAS officer. I took it. I completed my management, and then when I was doing my management, I got an opportunity to do an entrance exam for one of the most reputed organizations in India, which is ISRO. 15,000 people applied, and only 25 people were selected, and I became a scientist, C-level scientist, the first scientist to represent my city, and I was the first in my entire family. I traveled to one of the topmost research centers in India. That's where I get my first cultural shock, right? I go to this place, and I started as a scientist, C-level scientist in astrophysics, and I was dreaming to be one of the top astronauts in India, right? And I get a bad person with whom I have to work on a daily basis. This person comes to me in the morning, and I have the regular routine of going to office at the early hours, right? 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30. And sometimes instead of 9:30, if I go at 10 o'clock, this person would call me and say, it's already 8:30. The schools have started. What do I have to do with schools, right? What do I have to do with schools? I'm here, I got up in the morning, I did my stuff, and I took my bag, and I'm here to study. So I had to join as a thesis. He's my thesis master. So I have to work with him to move up in the ladder to become one of the biggest scientists, right? I tried my best for 2 months. I couldn't survive. The cultural shock that I had, this bad leader I had, I told him enough is enough and I can't do this anymore. I took a flight just on one morning without telling anybody. I grabbed my bag. I went to my home. I went to my native. What do I do now? I took this venture of doing my technical writing degree with Simon Fraser University, Canada. That's where I thought, this is where I belong, right? There's nothing else I can do in my life. That day, almost 15 years back, I started this career. And today, I've been a servant leader for the last 15 years. And this has given me everything in my life. And I would say, I am what I am today, it is because of this servant leadership. And I will promise you today, I will continue to be a great servant leader. At least for the next 20, 25 years that is left in me. If not in service now, it is going to be one of the top most companies in India. Do you like my confidence? Thank you. With all this background that I come from, why I love to be a servant leader? That is because, we'll move to the topic. There are so many real-time examples of servant leadership. There is so much of content outside. And here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to compile all of them, put it in a simple manner, right? Just to tell you out of my experience, and there are so many people who are very much experienced than me. I completely respect that. Let's have a collaboration. And I just want to tell you that this is how the servant leadership has worked for me, right? Please bear with it, right? It might work in a different way for you. I completely respect that. But if you can take one leaf out of my experience, that will be the most happiest moment for me, right? And I do this for the sole purpose of, servant leadership education. so that it kind of pushes the authority and power of the servant leadership, right? Okay. How many Shah Rukh Khan fans here? Shah Rukh Khan fans, come on. I know we are in Chennai. Okay. How many Talaivar fans? Woo!